Once upon a time, there was a teacher who made everyone afraid. They called her Madam Longnails. She dressed like a teacher, sharp, neat, and proud. And her nails were very long, shiny, and perfect, but dangerous. Her real name when she was human was Mrs. Abeke. Mrs. Abeke loved rules. She loved order, and every morning, the very first thing she would do was to check the students' heads. Picture this. A hot morning, the old school lined up, girls in neat rows, boys too, and they were not there for sports, they were there for inspection. Mrs. Abeke, the woman everyone later called Madam Longnails, stood at the front. Her clothes was neatly ironed, her hair was in place. Every morning, she called the students to the assembly. She made them stand still. She made them hold their hands out. Who have a long nails? She would ask, not with a question that waited for an answer. It was a command. A voice like glass. She would walk down the line. She would tap the tip of their fingers. She would measure the length with eyes that did not joke. If a girl's nails were too long, Mrs. Abeke would stop her for everyone to see. Sometimes, she would make a girl cut her nails there, in the yard, with clothing and sheen. While sometimes, she would keep a student back and shout until her face went red. She loved to remind them who was in charge. That was how she ruled. Every morning, every week, every month, she built fear with a sound. All nails on the decks, her cane tapping their heads, her voice calling names. But one day, someone refused. One girl kept her nails. Her name was Naya. She loved them. She painted them loud and bright. She taps them when she's bored. She liked the way they looked. Mrs. Abeke saw it. She pulled her in the corridor. She dragged her to the old wooden stairwell. A fight started. Words, hot and sharp. The staircase was old. It creaked. It tasted of dust and old shoe. Mrs. Abeke tried to screw Naya. Naya, scared and afraid, she mistakenly pushed her teacher. Mrs. Abeke lost balance for a single second. Tiny movement like syrup. Mrs. Abeke fell. Her nails long scratched the wooden. She hit the bottom hard. Her body did not move again. Blood spread like ink. The students screamed. The teachers ran out. But no prayers could fix the quiet that followed. Mrs. Abeke died. They buried her. They told themselves it was an accident. Some blamed the students, Naya. Some blamed the stairs. But at night, the girls heard something. A tiny horror. Nails clicking on woods. A whisper in the dark. Cut your nails. Mrs. Abeke's spirit returned with the very thing she hated the most. Long nails. Very long one this time. The school couldn't sleep. Mirrors forged with handprints. Scratches appeared on desks. Students woke up with marks on their arm. Fear grew like a vine through the doors. The headmaster called for a big prayer. They brought pastors and elders. They sang. They held candles. They chased the spirit with words and water and salt. For a while, the creak stopped. The school breathed. They tightening rules. No long nails. No heavy makeup. They thought they were safe. But spirits do not die easily. They move. They look for new homes. They search for places that welcome the things they hate. Not far away, a new boarding school opened. Bright halls, loud laughter, fashion and colors. Rules were small in this school, like whisper. In this school, students can do whatever they like. Students paint their nails bold. They braided long hair. They wore makeup like armor. This was the place Mrs. Abeke's spirit hated the most. A place made for a hangar. And yeah, they lived a girl named Oma. Oma ruled the hall. Long nails, bright polish. She took selfies in school. Loud laughter, bold lipsticks. She loved colors. She loved to stand out. Oma kept longer nails and painted them. Even when teachers complained, she would just say she would cut them to avoid longer talk. But she never did. Mrs. Abeke's spirit smelled it. Pride, color, disobedience. It reached out like a cold finger. It started small, a sound in the night, a click like someone tapping a coin on a table. Oma woke. Her roommate slept. The hall was dark. She sat up. "Who is there?" she whispered. Nothing answered, only the click. Whisper passed through her ear. "Cut your nails," it said. Oma believed she was hearing wrongly. She told herself maybe it's too much of the ghost movies she had been watching at home. In the morning, she laughed. She told her friends about it. They all laughed about it, saying maybe it's too much of the horror movies she had been watching back at home. But later that night, when it was late, the dorm was quiet. The lights in the hallway were low. Everyone else had gone to sleep. Oma sat on her bed for a moment, heart still loud from the strange noise. She told herself to calm. She told herself it was nothing. It could be the pipeline, a mouse, or a prank. Then she heard it again. A tiny sound at first. A single click, click. It cut the quiet. It was close, too close. Oma stood up. Her skin prinkled. She looked around the tiny room. The curtain moved a little in the breeze. Her roommate snored hard. No one woke. The hall outside was dark and empty. She walked out into the hall. Her feet made soft sound on the tiles. She moved slowly, like she was trying not to wake the whole building. The click came again. Click, click. This time from far end at the corridor. Oma stopped. Her mouth felt dried. Her palms were sliced. She could feel the cold on her skin. The air tasted different. It felt thinner, like someone had sucked the warmth out of the room. Then she saw it. At the far end of the hall, where the light meets the dark, stood a figure, a shadowy figure. It was shaped at first, a smear of black that did not belong to the light. It did not look like a student. It did not look like a teacher. It looked wrong. It was tall, too tall. It had long arms, and its nails, the nails were long and curved like knives. Each movement made a small sound. Click, click, click. The figure took one slow step forward. The floor did not creak like it should. The air around it moved like fog. Its head did not turn. It did not blink. It moved towards the Oma, like something walking out of a dark dream. Then a voice spoke from the figure. "Cut your nails," it said. Oma felt the words like a hazy breath. She could not think. Her legs shook. She wanted to run, but her feet felt heavy. The figure moved closer. Then clicking got louder. Click, click, click. Each sound sounded like a nails on a wood. The sound filled the hall and crawled up to her spine. She turned and ran. Oma ran faster than she had ever run in her life. Barefooted, slippers flying. Her heart hammered in her chest. Her breath came short and sharp. She did not stop. She did not look back. One thought screamed in her head. Find help. Oma ran into the house mistress' house like a storm. The door slammed behind her with a loud sound. "Mrs. Fola, Mrs. Fola," she shouted. "There is a woman in the hall." A shadow with a clicking sound nails. She said I should cut my nails. She walked towards me. Oma said to the house mistress, Mrs. Fola. The house mistress was a steady woman, calm in a storm. Her face did not show surprise at first. She took a deep breath and said, "Calm down, child," she said. "Tell me everything from the start." Her voice was soft, but it had weight. It had authority. It made Oma stop shaking. Oma tried to tell the story. Her voice came fast and messy. She spoke of the figures, the nails, the cold breaths, the whisper and the click. She spoke of the way the shadow walked, of the sound, of how her bone felt hollow. She spoke until she could not speak anymore. Mrs. Fola listened with eyes that grew darker with memories. When Oma finished, she did not laugh. She did not call it a prank. She reached out and took Oma's hand. Her fingers were steady. "You saw her," she said. "You saw the shape." Oma nodded. Tears spilled down her face. She said, cut your nails, Oma whispered. The house mistress closed her eyes for a long breath. Then she said words that make Homer freeze. Her name is Mrs. Abeke, the house mistress said. She taught at my old school. She used to stand in the yard every morning and check students' nails. She was strict, too strict. She made a lot of girls cut their nails in shame. Then, one day, she fell. The house mistress continued. I saw her fall. I was there. I watched. Her nails scratched the stairs. She was pushed by a student while schooling her. Ever since then, the school never rested because Mrs. Abeke's spirit returned to take revenge. So the school prayed and chased her away back then. We thought it was over, but she came back to another school, which is the school. She learned how to move between places. She found you. Emma's stomach dropped as she froze. She's back, she asked. The house mistress nodded. She did not hide the truth. Yes, a spirit came here. People call her Madame Longnails now, but when she was alive, her name was Mrs. Abeke. A spirit remembered the rules. She hated what she cannot control. She hated long nails. Oma buried her face in her hands. As shaking became quiet, she felt a cold in her bone that did not leave. She had seen the very thing that the house mistress was talking about. The house mistress stood up. She moved fast now, calm but quick. We will not be afraid, she said. We will act. Bring the candles. As they waved the entire girls in the door. Gather everyone in the chapel, she said. We will pray. We will protect each other. Oma wanted to run back to the hall and face it, but she knew she was not ready. She listened to the house mistress' orders. Students would gather. Doors would be checked. Lights kept on. The house mistress moved like the leader she was. Strong, sure, and a sheep between kids and the dark. But before they left the room, the house mistress took one last look at Oma. She reached out and touched the edge of Oma's hand, where the nail stick shook, faintly beneath her skin. Trim them, she said. For now. Trim them now. For now. Just do what she asked. We will not let her take anyone. We will face her together. Oma nodded. She did not fully understand the fear yet. She only knew the clicks of the nails in the dark. She only knew the old breath of the whisper. She only knew the pounding of her heart. They left the corridor in a line. The house mistress at the front, Homer behind her. They all looked the same, but it was not. Every strip of light hid a shadow now. Every click sounded like a warning. As they moved down the corridor, a faint noise came from the far ahead. Just a small sound at first. Click, click. It was patient. It was listening. It was waiting. Cut your nails, Madame Longnail's spirit said. The wind seemed to say, but now it was not only a whisper, it was a promise. The house mistress gathered the entire girls in the center of the hallway. The students kept praying. They shouted names. They pushed the darkness back with word. The house mistress led in prayer. They chanted. The wind slapped into the hallway like a wall. A black shape rippled past the windows, a smell of ink blown by a storm. The candle flared, then went out. Silence felt like a blanket. They believed they had won. They made rules at once. No nails past the tip. No heavy makeup. The following Monday, the notice board at the school was filled with new laws. Students read it like a bruise. But ever since then, no one ever heard about Madame Longnails again. But if you walk through the hallway late in the night, you may still hear it. A soft sound, a promise, nails on wood, a whisper that tasted like cold. Cut your nails, or I will be back. Mrs. Abeke's spirit, the one they called Madame Longnails. She waits, patient, angry and hungry. She will find the losing places. She will find the nights where light fail. She would find the students who laughed at rules. Students do not laugh at the rumor. They do not test her. Trim your nails if you must, or keep them short out of respect for the dead who never lived quietly. This is the end of the story. Thank you so much for watching the story. If you enjoyed the story, please do not forget to like the story, share with me in the comments your thoughts about the story, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories like this. See you next time. Bye.